If you're just coming in, there's some spaces up here at the top. On my left, your right. Yeah, that's right. There's a note up here. It says, "Smile, you're doing great." Well, I am CJ Porter. Sometimes you'll hear me called Chris. I am the Assistant Dean of Students here at the University of Mary Washington. And let me be the second or 50th person to welcome you this morning to the parent program. We're very glad you are all with us. This microphone is a little weird. There we go. I think I found it. I think I found the spot. And our program this morning is going to be a couple of folks that you'll want to know who we are. We're going to talk to you a bit about the services and resources that we have for your students, answer questions you have about those services, and yeah, generally have a really great time. Go coffee. Okay, I used to do this speech, and I was debating whether I was going to tell you about this morning. I am the parent of a college student. She is at her summer job this summer. And I used to do this speech about how, there are going to be times when your student calls you, and it's like some ungodly hour, and they're having a crisis of some sort, and they are going to sob and cry, and you're going to get off the phone and start wondering what on earth you can do from where you are, because even if you're 10 minutes away, I happen to be about 6 hours away from my daughter right now. But this happened to me last night, y'all. She called me at midnight with this existential crisis, and I know that when she hung up from me, I'm going to try to change mics. I don't like. Okay, let's try this one. I knew that when she hung up from me, she went and cried on the shoulder of one of her camp counselor friends and then went to sleep. She was fine. Mom, on the other hand, was sitting up until 2 a.m. trying to figure out what on earth I was going to do for this young woman. So I'm not quite on all thrusters this morning. That being said, I want to tell you a little bit about what I do. For those who were at the reception last night, I apologize. Some of this is a repetitive. But I work with off-campus students, and some of you met me yesterday at the off-campus session. I work with veterans and military-dependent students, and that I met you at the GI Bill session yesterday. I also am the University Liaison to Dining, which is a really fancy title, which means I make sure there's food. Really, I work with the quality, make sure that there's good selection. If students have concerns about dining, they come to me. But I also work with students who have specific dietary needs based on either medical issues or religious issues. So all of those come through me, and I'm very happy to work directly with your student if there are any concerns there. I'm also the meal plan manager because obviously people thought I was bored. But the thing I want to talk to you about this morning is called behavioral intervention. It sounds pretty scary, right? But I'm here to tell you it's not. The Dean of Students Office here at the University of Mary Washington, we are committed really to one thing, and that's the success of your students. And I know the title of dean always sounds kind of scary, doesn't it? You get a call from the dean, and you think, ooh. But really, that's not the case here at Mary Wash. We have a really good system. We call it the Behavioral Intervention Team. And we are a team of individuals from all over the university, from athletics and the faculty to student affairs and counseling. All of us, we come together when students are having challenges or need some additional support. Now, what kind of challenges, you think? We get information from everyone, I swear, from housekeepers on up to the president. A year or so ago, I got a note from a housekeeper saying, I'm really worried about this one student. They're wandering around constantly in a bathrobe when I'm pretty sure they should be in class. Okay, so, we follow up with that student, and, I think some of you heard Dr. Landfair say last night that if your students ghost us, we will find them. And that is very true. We are a small campus. But that is more or less my job. If this person who has been wandering around and they start avoiding me, I will text them, I will call them, I will send them emails, I will have somebody go by their room in the residence hall to say, hey, Dean Porter really wants to talk to you. You're not in trouble. And the very, very first thing I'm going to say to your student is, are you okay? Are you okay? And 8 times out of 10, I hear, no, I'm not. And then we work together to try to find a way forward. I will get notes from professors if somebody stops going to class. Okay, if they just drop off the face of the earth and then start ghosting their professor. Everybody know what ghosting is? Yeah, okay. So yeah, they start ghosting their professor, and then I get put on the case. All of us and we have a number of people who work in our office. Betsy is our case manager. Mary is our office manager. Of course, Dean Jones, who you have met at one point or another during your time here, and we'll meet again this morning. All of us are engaged in this enterprise to make sure that your student has the support they need. A lot of times students think they're kind of out there on their own, right? But I tell you, I've been here since 1999, and I have had the distinct pleasure of seeing this university grow and develop. It was Mary Washington College when I first started here. So, one of the things that, we really, really try to focus on is that individual attention, no matter how we've changed or grown over the years. But what I try to tell them is, trust me when I tell you, and I said this to them yesterday, trust me when I tell you, you come into my office and you talk to me, and I'm willing to bet there is nothing I haven't heard before. Nothing you say is going to surprise or shock me. You're not going to come in and tell me this and be like, oh, well, I can't help you. That's just not how it goes. Okay. I have some students, every now and again, I'll reach out and be like, are you okay? And they're really reluctant to talk to me. And sometimes what we find is they missed a week of class, they were sick, something was going on, and now they're behind. And so they're going to take time off, they're going to go to class, and they're going to try to catch up, right? Now they're 2 weeks behind, okay? And now they're embarrassed, okay? And they don't know what to say to the professor, and they don't know what to do, so they just stop going. I can't tell you how many conversations I said, I'll tell a student, you've missed class, didn't you? Yes. And you're behind, aren't you? Yes. And you're really embarrassed about this and anxious. Yes. It's okay. We can work through this, but I need them to come to me, okay? I joke, I said, I'll get a skywriter if I have to get your attention, but I'm kind of hoping that the texting, the emails, the calls will do it. I always get the question from parents, can I call you? Yes, absolutely. You are welcome to call me at any point. In fact, here's my contact information. You can go ahead and take a picture. I'll tell you more about the rest of the stuff that's up there in a minute. But you can call me, but there's some limitations and provisos that I do need to mention. You can go to academic services and have your student fill out the request for information, the release of information form. And that's great. That allows you to talk about grades. There's the money release form. You can be a designated payer on Banner and get that information on there. Because I tend to deal with things that are a great deal more sensitive, mental health issues, anxiety, depression, relationship issues, you name it, it's there. I prefer to ask the student if I can have their permission to talk to you before I do that. Now, you want to call and talk to me in generalities? I can talk about generalities all day long. I can say, well, in this circumstance, we might. But if it's going to be specifics about your student, I want them involved in the conversation, okay? Now, you want to call me for advice and say, I don't know what to do. She's not coming out of her room. Something we're seeing quite a bit in the post-pandemic world. She's not coming out of her room. She's not making connections. She's not making friends. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to tell her. Give me a call. I am very, very happy to talk that through with you. And every now and again I get a phone call that says, "Don't tell her that I called." And please understand that sometimes I can respect that. And there's other times that I'm going to say, I understand you want me to follow up with your son and ask him how he's doing, but, the dean just doesn't normally just, come on by and go, "Hey, how are you?" So there will be times we'll have to negotiate that just a little bit. As I mentioned, I am the parent of a college student. She is a fifth-year senior at Marshall University in Huntington, West Virginia. She changed her major as a second semester junior. Called me crying. My kid cries at the drop of a hat, anybody's hat. She calls me crying and goes, "Mommy, I want to change my major." I said, "Who are you talking to? I see people change their major sometimes twice a semester. No, you've only done it once. We're good." But she is definitely on track to graduate in May, and any of you who are praying people, think about me. Up here, just a little bit about me. I like to share some of this. This is my family up there. I am on Facebook. Anybody wants to friend me on Facebook, CJ Porter. And so I lead a very boring life. You'll see pictures of my dogs, my cakes, and my daughter, and my husband. If he's standing next to my cakes, my dogs are my daughter. But that's the family up there. I volunteer in Siberian Husky Rescue. I have two. They're like potato chips. You can't have just one. Those are two of my. I do have a third because Siberian Huskies are not guard dogs. Okay, they will hold the flashlight while you carry out the TV. So I do have a pit bull mix too. I do have a snake. Some of you are going to encounter this. My daughter had to have a snake. Had to have a snake. And then she went to college. Guess who takes care of the snake? But anyway, that's Sonia. She's a Motley corn snake. She's about this long. She's huge. I am a hobbyist cake baker. I did make all the cakes that are up there in that corner. Have a degree from the University of Tampa, Florida. My master's degree from Bowling Green State in Bowling Green, Ohio. And my philosophy of life, wake up and be awesome. I woke up on the right side of the dirt today. Everything else is gravy. So, well, thank you. You're going to hear more from me as we go on, but it's my pleasure now to bring up Dr. Nancy Wang. She is the director of the Student Health Center here at the University of Mary Washington. She's going to tell you some important information, some deadlines for some forms, that sort of thing. So if you all please would join me in welcoming Dr. Wang.
Good morning, everyone. Join my welcome to CJ's. There are seats over here. Please come on in and don't worry about it if you guys want to come on in.
Or Lily can help you upstairs.
Yep. There are seats everywhere. So I'm going to talk to you today a little bit about the Student Health Center and our services, about the UMW health forms and its online submission. And also some additional resources that's available to your students. You may have already heard some of this out on the resource tabling. You've met my nurses, so just bear with me on that. We're located in Lee Hall, same building as the bookstore, and we're in room 112. We're open Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. We see students by appointments, but sick walk-in visits can be accommodated. We always have same-day appointments available for students when they call. Of course, depending on the season, for example, the flu season, we do tend to fill those slots up as the day goes. Your student will likely see a nurse practitioner or myself. We also have 3 nurses, some of which you've already met outside, and also 2 front desks staffs. We see students for acute illnesses and minor injuries, birth control or contraceptives, and STI checks. We provide allergy shots for students who are already on them. And we do consultations for anxiety and depression and medication subsequent follow-ups. We do travel consultations for students who study abroad, and also physical exams when students need them. In-house rapid tests include strep, mono, flu, COVID, urinalysis, urine pregnancy, and blood glucose. We do have a small pharmacy on site carrying mostly generic antibiotics. We only dispense medication that's prescribed at the Student Health Center. Anything we don't carry, we can send a prescription electronically to the local pharmacy of their choice. There's a giant right across at Eagle Village, and then it's flanked by 2 CVS's. Our office visits are free. There is a nominal fee we charge for any rapid test that we do, and also any medication we dispense. Most of the time it's $5. And for your students' convenience, we charge their Eagle One card or student account. We don't take credit card, cash, or bill insurances. If your student have any chronic medical condition that might frequent the health center or may get more severely ill when they're sick, we encourage them to come by and get acquainted, come get established with us. This way we can get acquainted with their medical condition and also plan for any kind of care coordination. Health insurance is not required to be seen at the health center, but we do encourage it as it helps defray costs if they have a specimen that needs to be sent to the lab or if they need to go to x-ray or emergency room. Before your student come to UMW, if you're from out of state, just check your insurances for participating facilities and providers. And that happens even if you're in state. If your student have a medical concern after hours, they can reach a nurse by calling the Student Health Center. We contract with PhoneMed to provide that services. And if it's something that can't wait till they get seen at the Student Health Center and they need to go to an urgent care, we have several within a 5-mile radius. If it's a medical emergency and they need assistance right away, then we encourage them to call the campus police. The campus police can get someone there to assist your student, and they can also dispatch an ambulance. The entire university has the address of 1301 College Avenue, so if you're trying to tell them I'm in so-and-so residence hall, they don't know where to go. We have a self-care center that's right across from Eagle One, where your student got their ID. And there's some free over-the-counter medication, condom, health information, and it's accessible when Lee Hall is open. Just a reminder, your student's visit to the health center is confidential. We cannot disclose any information or the fact that they were there without their permission. The most important thing today, I'm sure you've already talked to my nurses about, is the UMW health forms. They are due August 1st. Excuse my voice. They're required by Virginia state law. The forms are available on our website, and we do encourage you to submit online through the portal as much as possible. But of course, we'll take it any way you want to give it to us. This is what the health center website looks like. As you can see in that left upper corner, that yellow tab, student portal, is right there. In the middle there, you can see the 3 forms, and that's where you can print them, bring them to your student's provider, have them review and fill it out. And below that is the instructions how to register, log into the portal. The required health forms is the health history, the immunization, and the TB screening form. The health history you and your student can fill out. The immunization form and TB screening does need to be reviewed by your student's primary care provider and sign. There's no physical exam that's needed for this, just so you're aware ahead of time. We ask that your student upload all 3 forms, as well as a copy of the immunization documentation. So if you go to the doctor's office and they print out electronic health record of the vaccination, that's perfect. And if it's possible, a copy of the health insurance card, if it can be uploaded, it does help us when we have to send a specimen out, that we have that information. They don't always carry their health insurance card when they come. If you have any questions, just call the Student Health Center and our staff will be happy to walk you through the process if you encounter any difficulty or your student. This is what the portal looks like. And so if you can see that right upper where it says upload, that's where you click on that to upload the forms, as well as the immunization documentation and health insurance card. A couple notes about the forms. Just ask your student to please keep the original just in case there's a problem with the upload. And if your student is an NCAA athlete, they have a separate health form. If they are not compliant with the submission of the health form, they will have a hold on their student account. That means they won't be able to get their grades or register for the following semester. We'll take them off hold as soon as we get that information. I'm going to give a big shout out to President Pano, or should I say Medical Doctor Pano. He did a spoof video about a drug called Responsibility. It's for students who don't give us the forms on time. You might want to take a look. It's at the Student Health Center website. So we collaborate with Giant Pharmacy to come on campus to give vaccines for our students. They will be here on moving day for any vaccines your student might still need before they come to school. They'll be at the Cedric Rucker University Center from 9 to 3. They also come in the fall for flu shots, and those are the days they will be here this semester. They will also have other vaccines in case your students are still needing them. College students are at high risk for infectious disease. It's not unusual that at the health center we see a student come in with an illness, and next thing you know, their teammates, their friends, their roommates are in with the same illness. Being together so close 24/7 is a great environment for spreading germs. So being vaccinated really can help decrease the severity of the illness. It can even save lives. So I ask that you check in with your students so that they can be on the lookout for any email announcements or any notifications. Before your student come to UMW, I ask that you help them assemble a self-care kit. Until now, they have you guys help them when they're sick. I don't feel well, here's some medication. Prep them with the prep in terms of a kit with any medications they may need. If they get sick in the middle of the night, they could take something to alleviate their symptoms, a thermometer to check their temperature if they have a fever, some Band-Aid dressings in case they injure or hurt themselves, antihistamines in case they have an allergic reaction. Also ask them that, they should carry their health insurance with them at all times. That's just in case of an emergency. If your student take any controlled substances, a lockbox may be helpful so other students will get their hands on it. And if your student wear contacts, sometimes they get conjunctivitis. So having a pair of extra glasses really helps so they can at least see and keep doing with their work. This is a reminder for me that we will have a meet and greet on moving day from 9 to 3 at the health center. Please bring your student, come meet us, and take a tour. This way they know where we're located and they feel comfortable seeking our care. We'll also have some goodies for you guys to take away, so please welcome to come and kind of just, see where we are. I think your students will feel comfortable too if they at least know where we're located. So I hope I told you a little bit today about the health center and our services and the health forms and its online submission, as well as the additional resources that we have on campus. If you have any questions, I certainly can take some if you have any questions. Yes? I think it's online. I'm not with the athletic, and yeah, so you would turn it into the athletic, the coach. Yep, exactly. Yes. Yes, the reason for that is sometimes we can't read the handwriting on the immunization forms. Doctors can have bad handwritings. So sometimes when we have that documentation, it really helps. So for us to also confirm. Any other question? Yes. Yes, if they have a medication that they take chronically, then getting it at a local pharmacy and they have a prescriber, then that would be the best way to just continue that. Was there a question? Yes. Sure. I mean, we don't have an infirmary. This is just a student health center, so they usually just take care of themselves, self isolate because this is a college and they're learning to be independent, take care of themselves. So, but if CJ wants to add to that, that's what we're all trying to do is just kind of teach them how to navigate the medical system because obviously up till now they had you guys help them, oh, you're sick, I need to take you to the doctors. Now they have to take that initiative and go see the doctors themselves. Sometimes they have a different priority because they'll say, we have appointments for you. No, I got a club meeting. Okay, well, so, so we get that a lot too. So, and sometimes they may cry to you saying, well, they didn't have any appointments for me, but that's only because they chose not to take the one that's available.